Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
3 people were killed in a car crash. And this morning, what investigators believe led to that fatal crash in Wake County early this morning.
And it's chilly out there this morning with temperatures close to freezing. We'll see sunshine all day, but I'll show you why highs will stay below normal too. And love is in the air. We'll give you a behind-the-scenes look as a local florist prepares for a very busy day. Plus, how much Americans are expected to spend on this Valentine's Day. Spoiler alert, I think it's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
We'll show you those numbers coming up. Thanks for joining us, and happy Valentine's Day. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Happy Valentine's Day to you. We're obviously in the spirit. I got a little pink on, you got a little red on. Elizabeth Gardner also in the spirit with her blazer, also with the Valentine's Day color scheme.
Pink going on. We get the blue in the sky looking absolutely gorgeous. This is a live look at Zebulon. Camera shaking just a little bit. We have a bit of a wind chill this morning, and temperatures are down near freezing in most places. It's 34 now at RDU. We were 33 last hour, so that sunshine's beginning to warm things up just a bit. Just a light wind out of the northeast at around 3 miles per hour officially. 37 in Fayetteville, 36 in Clinton. I think we've now seen the coldest temperatures, starting to see the temperatures creeping up just a little bit, still at and below freezing there in Roxbury and South Hill. It does stay cool today. Even with all this sunshine, our highs stay in the upper 40s because of our northerly wind. If you're going to be headed out this evening, temperatures will drop from 40s into 30s by around 8 p.m. Tomorrow will be a little wet and chilly. And then for Sunday, it's a WRAL weather alert day for the chance of some damaging winds along with some with the front that's coming through. So I'll talk you through the timeline coming up, Ken.
8:01, Elizabeth. We'll keep it to the east of Raleigh. This crash, it was right here, completely cleared, but we're still seeing some lingering delays in that area coming in from Zebulon. We're talking Highway 64, just a 1-minute delay now. 5 minutes ago, that was up to 23 minutes. So things have definitely picked up and definitely changed. As we give you a live cam network of I-87 and Rindle Avenue traffic moving nicely in both directions there now at a nice steady clip. As far as elsewhere, we're seeing traffic pick up just a little bit on the Beltline, but nothing that's going to delay you really when you really think about it. So let's look at those major routes coming into the capital city. Our friends in Wake Forest are looking at a 7-minute delay, but keep in mind there's some traffic lights there on Capitol Boulevard that is part of that delay. But over in the Bull City, very little to no delays. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown on the I-70 westbound right there up around the Briar Creek area. But again, that's probably traffic lights and the morning congestion in that area. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Breaking news. 3 people are dead after a crash in southern Wake County. This happened on Kennebec Road between Willow Spring and Anger. Eric Miller joins us live from the scene in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Eric, you've been there all morning long. Investigators have been there since 1:30.
Michelle, those investigators with State Highway Patrol, they were here for just about 5 hours before finally packing up and heading out. Within the last 20 minutes, we have seen wrecker crews come back out here to the scene to start to clean up some of the debris and damage left behind by this terrible crash. If you take a look at some of this video here, you get a sense of just how serious this was. The impact severe enough to rip the roof off of this vehicle. State Highway Patrol tells us that vehicle left the road just past Bud Lipscomb Road on the left side, hit one tree, flipped several times before hitting another tree and finally coming to a stop. 2 people inside weren't wearing their seatbelts. They were thrown from that vehicle, but all 3 people involved were killed in this crash. State Highway Patrol says they believe both speed as well as alcohol were factors in this crash. And so far, no names have been released. Those troopers still working to try to identify the victims as well as notify family members this morning. In southern Wake County, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says a Russian drone struck the nuclear power plant at Chernobyl last night. The video shows the moment the drone hit the dome covering the destroyed power plant. Zelensky and the UN Atomic Agency say that radiation levels do not appear to have increased from this. Now, Zelensky also says the drone was carrying a high explosive warhead when this happened, and a Kremlin spokesperson has denied claims that Russia was responsible for this.
This morning, we are learning of immigration operations in a Triangle neighborhood. This is video recorded by neighbors yesterday morning. 3 men were detained by ICE officers on Farthing Street in Durham. U.S. Customs and Border Protection have confirmed this was a targeted operation. Neighbors first saw the officers circling the area in the morning before stopping the men and putting them in handcuffs.
I think it's just insane to watch your neighbors get plucked out of thin air during the middle of the day. That's not normal.
Neighbors tell us the 3 men were from India. U.S. Customs say that the men are currently being held at a federal detention facility pending deportation hearings. And the Trump administration began its sweeping layoffs of probationary federal workers yesterday. The move could affect hundreds of thousands of workers. That's according to data from the Office of Personnel Management. Employees who have probationary status have typically been with the federal government for only 1 or 2 years.
The family of the man who a Harnett County Sheriff's deputy shot and killed says that excessive force was used in this. Family members say 31-year-old Leo Reeves was having a mental health crisis on Wednesday when his girlfriend called 911. Deputies were called to Neals Creek Road in Lillington, and when they arrived, they say Reeves had a knife and he was not responding to their effort to de-escalate the situation. The deputy involved in this, Calvin Johnson, has 11 years of law enforcement experience.
Now my 2 children have to grow up without a father. And so such a permanent decision was made based off of a temporary situation.
Deputy Johnson's patrol car has a dash camera inside, but he was not wearing a body camera. In fact, the Harnett County Sheriff's Office is in the process of issuing those cameras.
Voting on whether to unionize ends tomorrow for Garner Amazon employees. The National Labor Relations Board has been overseeing a 6-day vote with votes due to be counted tomorrow. If the workers do vote yes, the Garner facility would only be the 2nd in the nation with employees choosing union representation.
From candy to flowers, Americans are expected to spend a record amount of money this Valentine's Day. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from GCG Flower and Plant Design in Cary. Kelsey, all morning long we've seen some cool designs and such. This is a big day for that shop.
Yes, Chris, I just spoke with the owner, and he says that this is their Super Bowl today for Valentine's Day. So GCG Flower and Plant Design has hundreds of orders waiting to be delivered here. The owner says that they're probably going to have anywhere between 300 and 400 orders for the entire Valentine's Day week. Now, the National Retail Federation estimated that consumers will spend $2.9 billion on Valentine's Day flowers this year. But North Carolinians may spend less than the average American. A survey shows the average cost of a dozen roses in North Carolina is just below $80. That's $10 less than the national average. So you can see that there are some beautiful arrangements here, all different kinds of colors. I think one of my favorites is going to be the Pink Floyd flower. We'll show you that in the next half hour. But GCG opens this morning at 9:30, and they do accept walk-ins. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Well, one of Raleigh's first and longest standing LGBTQ businesses, the Green Monkey, is closing its doors after 12 years. The shop on Wilmington Street sells gifts, souvenirs, and drinks, and the store's owners released a statement explaining their decision to close as a brick and mortar shop, instead moving operations online. Other shop owners in the area tell us they hope a new business is able to thrive in its place.
Of course, you don't want businesses to close down, especially our neighbors. Something that I feel like is not talked enough about, though, is all the businesses that opened last year. And I feel like Raleigh is really finally starting to recover since COVID.
And shop owners tell us more events coming to the downtown area would help businesses stay open. The last day of shopping at Green Monkey will be on March 15th.
Time now is 8:09, a major milestone. SNL is celebrating its 50th anniversary. We'll tell you how you can get in on the action this weekend.
And a super celebration, the city of brotherly love getting a Valentine's Day treat. What's in store for the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl parade and celebration?
It's going to be a beautiful day here. Sunshine all day long. Pretty in Apex here. People walking up and down the street in their coats, though. Temperatures will stay below normal. I'll show you why coming up.
Welcome back on your Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. A couple people out at Pinehurst on the golf course this morning. What a beautiful day to do. It's chilly out there, but we do have some sunshine, which is a nice break from the rain we've been getting, but it's not going to last very long. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a gorgeous look all around town. We're going to enjoy the sunshine today.
Yes, soak it in because it's not going to be so great for playing golf on Saturday or Sunday. That said, you might be able to squeeze it in at some point. Right now, we're going to start walking through the timeline for the rain. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all looking gorgeous with blue skies. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill restaurant. We take a look at the big picture. This high pressure system keeps us dry today, but rotating clockwise, it is pushing in some chilly air. So highs today stay below normal. Our next system that arrives on Saturday into Sunday is back here, moving across the Rockies and into the plains. We'll move ahead and take a look at Futurecast, and you can start to see some of the rain here by the time we get to tomorrow morning along the warm front and then beginning to push into our area. It's not going to be terribly heavy on Saturday, just kind of light and patchy. This is a look at 6 a.m. We move it on ahead. Still pretty quiet at 9, but closer to lunchtime, we see a few light showers that move through. So if there's something you want to do outside, maybe try to get it done before lunchtime, because after that, it just looks patchy on through the rest of the day. And then on Sunday, this is, of course, one of our high resolution models. The timing on this is a little faster than some of our long range models are. And we tend to, kind of give some credence to these because these are the high resolution models. This shows the rain coming in by around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning and then exiting by around lunchtime or so. Along that line, there are likely to be some thunderstorms embedded. Some of those could produce some wind damage. We do have a level 1 risk for severe storms for our eastern counties. That does include Wake County and along the I-95 corridor. Wind damage would be our biggest threat. Well, again, have that rain coming through. Some of the models show it a little slower, so keep checking back to see if we're going to adjust the timeline for that at all. We'll likely see some strong winds up to around 30 miles per hour and then stronger than that when that line of storms comes through. Could see a high of 68 on Sunday ahead of the front, but behind the front, it is chilly again, just 40s for President's Day. And by the middle of next week, highs are in the 30s with a chance of a wintry mix. Ken?
8:14, Elizabeth, on this February 14th, looking at a handful of incidents dotting our live traffic sensors this morning, but nothing that's really going to affect your major routes. But so just want to bring it to your attention. I'm showing you this disabled vehicle on Old Stage Road near Vandora Springs because of the huge delays I'm seeing in the northbound lanes. But again, that might be just the morning congestion, but nothing happening really in the southbound lanes. There's another disabled vehicle just on Glenwood Avenue westbound near Westboro Drive. Again, not causing any issues for you, but just be careful as you're driving through that intersection. Now, this is a serious crash that's just been reported. We're trying to get some more information about it. It's on Main Street there in Lewisburg Road, heading toward Lewisburg, near Roseville. We're working to figure out exactly what's going on, but it's not causing any problems for you in terms of your morning commute, so that's good. Staying to the east of Raleigh, there's a live look at I-87 and Arundel Avenue. Traffic definitely flowing nicely in both directions. Those are the westbound lanes coming into us. In terms of the major routes coming into the capital city, just about a 5-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest and over in the Bull City. Very little to no delays on any of those major routes, which is good news this morning. 101.5 HD3, you're getting ready to head into the car, just pop us on the radio.
All right, thank you, Ken. There's a grand reopening happening for the people of Asheville today. Walmart is returning to that community months after Hurricane Helene. Walmart stores across western North Carolina sustained damage from the storm, and what you're seeing here is video of the flooding inside the Walmart in Boone. This morning, a ribbon-cutting ceremony will welcome shoppers back to the store. Now, apparel, electronics, toys, pharmacy, and dry grocery departments are all available today, and a full reopening is scheduled later this spring.
A member of the Los Angeles Fire Department narrowly escaped after his vehicle was swept into the ocean. Take a look at this. It happened last night along the Pacific Coast Highway. The man was driving when his SUV was swept off the road by debris. Luckily, the driver was able to escape and make it to safety. He was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. And take a look at this. A truck was spotted floating down the LA River yesterday afternoon as the city is hit with heavy rain. Witnesses said the truck entered the river through a large intake channel upstream. Police and fire crews responded to that scene, fearing that someone was inside. However, the truck was unoccupied. As it made its way down the river, the truck picked up vegetation along what's called the soft bottom section of the river, slowly bringing it to a stop.
Actress Issa Rae canceled her sold-out show at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. She made that announcement yesterday, and that happened after President Trump was elected chair of the center. Rae posted on social media saying that her decision to cancel was due to, quote, an infringement on the values of the Kennedy Center, end quote. All tickets to the next month's show will be refunded. You know, it's not only Valentine's Day in Philly, but a day to show the Eagles all the love in the world. The city is throwing its Super Bowl parade and ceremony for the Eagles, and a parade will march from Lincoln Financial Field to the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Fans are really looking forward to cheering on for quarterback Jalen Hurts, who won MVP of last Sunday's game, as you'll recall. There will be a formal program at the museum recognizing the honor the Eagles brought back to Philadelphia with their very stellar win.
And a 10-year-old boy is still in the hospital recovering 2 weeks after a medical transport plane crashed in Philadelphia. The explosion from that crash launched debris blocks away, hitting the truck the Howard family was in. 10-year-old Trey was hit in the head with a piece of metal while he was shielding his sister. When word spread of his heroic efforts and love for the Philadelphia Eagles, star wide receiver A.J. Brown heard and went to visit Trey. Brown surprised him at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia with a Lombardi trophy in tow. And Trey's dad, Andre, says that visit has given his son wings in his recovery.
I'm going to be able to touch that trophy after almost 2 weeks ago, what we experienced, me and my kids. I'm happy that AJ kept his word to my son, and just happy my son is where he's at with his recovery.
And Andre says his son still has a long road to recovery. Trey will not be able to go to the parade today, but Andre hopes to get some pictures for him. This is something he will never forget.
He won't, and that was just so awesome of him to do that for his sister. This Valentine's Day is the perfect time to show everyone in your life a little love. As Chanley Painter reports, there are some health benefits that come with this.
Valentine's Day often focuses on the importance of two people in a romantic relationship. But one researcher says other relationships may have just as much of an impact on our quality of life.
Social connections are critically important for us. They help us live happy, healthy, and longer lives.
Dr. Meg Patterson, an associate professor at Texas A&M University, says a perspective shift may be needed for the holiday of love.
All of those relationships have so much value, and I think why not celebrate that during Valentine's Day and reframe it a bit away from just focusing on one type of relationship and thinking about all the relationships that we have in our life.
Patterson says the longest study on human longevity conducted by Harvard University points to relationships being more important than nutrition and exercise for improving quality of life, making it crucial to celebrate those positive connections.
And what a better day to think about that than Valentine's Day, a day that has historically been all about love, care, and relationships.
When it comes to celebrating friends and family on Valentine's Day, Patterson says it's okay to keep it simple.
I honestly think it's just about connecting, and that sounds really vague, but sending a text message, setting up a lunch date, recognizing your friendships, and not letting the day pass you by as an isolate, but finding ways to connect.
I'm going to be that guy. Doesn't have to be Valentine's Day to do that. Keep that in mind. Closing arguments are underway in the trial of rapper A$AP Rocky. The rapper, whose real name is Rakeem Mayers, is facing 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. He's accused of shooting a former friend while in Hollywood back in 2021. The 36-year-old claimed that he was only carrying a prop gun, but prosecutors argue that gun was very real. His defense attorney argued the alleged victim knew that it was a prop gun, and the rapper faces up to 24 years in prison if convicted.
Jeff Bezos' rocket company, Blue Origin, is laying off more than 1,000 employees. That's about 10% of its workforce. The cuts will affect engineers, researchers, developers, and management. This year, Blue Origin is planning to ramp up manufacturing and increase the pace the company launches rockets. About a month ago, the company launched its first orbital rocket, New Glenn.
Americans are struggling to pay off their debt. That's according to the Federal Reserve's quarterly report. It found that overall, debt crept up to $18 trillion during the fourth quarter of 2024. Mortgage balances, the largest held debt, was at $12.61 trillion. Credit card debt rose 7.3% compared to the year before. Auto and student loan balances also increased, and auto loan and credit card delinquencies on payments are now at 14 years high.
Breeze Airways is launching a new service from RDU to Daytona Beach. The route will operate Thursdays and Sundays, and fares start at $39 one way. That promotion is available when booking a new reservation. You have to buy your ticket by the end of next Thursday and travel from now through April 9th.
Saturday Night Live will return to its roots this weekend as the very first episode of the show, recorded back in 1975, will be rebroadcast as SNL celebrates its 50th season. You'll recognize some of those early day stars, including John Belushi and Chevy Chase. It's all leading up to a 3-hour special anniversary session there on Sunday. You can expect a star-studded lineup of celebrity guests as well as former and current cast members. The big event streams live at 8 p.m. on WRAL.
The Durham Rescue Mission is sharing the love this Valentine's Day. Volunteers will provide a special meal today for the women and children at the Good Samaritan in campus. Dinner will be served at 4:45, and roses will also be handed out to those who attend. Well, speaking of roses, it's a very busy day for florists. We'll take you behind the scenes of one shop here in the Triangle as they prepare for the Valentine's Day rush.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Time now is 8:26 on your Friday morning. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Michelle McConaughey. What a treat we have for Valentine's Day. Some sunshine. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner walks us through what we can expect today.
First day of the week that we're going to see sunshine from start to finish. So enjoy it while we have it. It's chilly, 34 in Wilson and Durham, but beautiful sunshine. Just a touch breezy. You can see the whirligig spinning lightly. Fayetteville at 37 degrees. Town by town looking at mostly 30s, but starting to see temperatures creep up a little bit. Still 32 in Lewisburg, 34 Tarboro, 35 in Irwin, and 34 in Rocky Mount and Wilson. Hour by hour, it is cool through the afternoon, even with all the sunshine. Highs won't make it out of the 40s this afternoon. Over the weekend, we're back to some cool, wet weather, Ken.
27. Many of you will have a sunny disposition as you hit the road because look at this. Free and clear in I-40 and Rock Quarry Road nicely in both directions. And really and truly, that's what we're seeing when we look at all the other major routes coming into the capital city. Usually 4 minutes coming in from Wake Forest over in Durham. Very little to no delays whatsoever going into the Bull City this morning. I'll have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Thanks, Ken. 3 people are dead after a car crash in southern Wake County. It happened just after 1 o'clock this morning between Willow Spring and Anger. Troopers say the driver went off the side of the road and slammed into a tree. They confirm alcohol and speed were factors, and 2 people were not wearing seatbelts. And neighbors say they're concerned after ICE officers detained 3 men in a Durham neighborhood. U.S. Customs and Border Protection say it was a targeted operation. Neighbors say the 3 men were from India. The men are currently being held at a federal detention facility pending deportation hearings. Next on Fox 50, mixed reaction to a new proposal that would raise the speed limit on interstates. And up next on Today, a one-on-one with Renee Zellweger.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50 at 8:30, a deadly Wake County crash. How troopers say a car slammed into a tree, killing 3 people just after 1 o'clock this morning.
And on a brighter note, lots of sunshine for it today. This is a live look past North Hills at the blue sky. But I'll show you why temperatures will run below normal today.
And the day of love is here. We have a behind-the-scenes look at a floral shop on one of their busiest days. Plus, how much you may be paying if you waited until the last minute to get something for someone you love very special. Oh, Valentine's Day.
Oh, yes.
Gotta love it. Good day to get on out, excuse to have a nice date and make something for your special loved one.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us here on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. You're making your wife dinner.
I is.
My fiance and I are going to order in tonight. We're staying inside. It's going to be so busy out there. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Elizabeth, what are your plans?
A nice dinner out tonight as well.
Very nice.
So looking forward to that too. We take a live look at North Hills. Beautiful sunshine. We may see a few high thin clouds today, but generally it just looks lovely. It's a chilly start this morning. Even though the sun's been up for a while, we're still in the 30s in most places. Our wind is coming out of the northeast fairly lightly, but there is enough of a breeze there for just a bit of a wind chill. 32 in Roxborough, 33 South Hill, 34 in Raleigh, 37 right now in Fayetteville. Temperatures will warm up slowly. We'll hit mid to upper 40s this afternoon. afternoon. And if you're headed out with your sweetie this evening, temperatures will be dropping into the low 40s and then upper 30s between 7 and 8 o'clock. We are looking at a wetter weekend, some light showers on Saturday, but the chance of some strong thunderstorms on Sunday. So Sunday is already a WRAL weather alert day. We'll walk you through the timeline coming up. Ken?
8:31, Elizabeth. Let's look at this beautiful sunny skies greeting the commuters there on I-40 and Wade Avenue, flowing nicely in all directions. That's really good if you're about to head out this morning. As we take a look at that live traffic map this morning, just a handful of incidents. But as we isolate the Beltline, look at this. The southern loop of the Beltline, nothing but green showing up. That's unheard of this time of the morning, but we'll take it. There's I-440 and in the westbound lane near Six Forks Road. We're not seeing any delays in that immediate area. I'm working to figure out what's showing up there on that red. Could be a situation where maybe a disabled vehicle or something, but nothing that's going to delay you whatsoever. If you're heading into the downtown area, there's a crash on East Street, southbound near Davie. Not seeing any delays in the area, so you should not have any problems navigating that area. In terms of all the major routes heading into the capital city, boy, very little to no delays. You're looking at a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest. Over in the Bull City, all the major routes are relatively delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
We're following this breaking story this morning. 3 people are dead because of a crash in southern Wake County. This happened on Kennebec Road, where WRAL's Eric Miller has been all morning long. Eric, investigators were out there at one point. They have since left, but you could still see what happened there in terms of evidence on the ground right beneath your feet.
Oh, you absolutely can, Chris. And just in the last 20 minutes, wrecker crews finally finished scraping up some of the debris, but some of the damage left behind here, it's going to take longer to deal with. Just take a look at this. This is the spot that vehicle came off of Kennebec Road, just past Bud Lipscomb Road. That vehicle slamming into the tree here and then leaving deep divots in the ground as it tumbled end over end. If you take a look at the video here, you get a sense not only of the size of the investigation, but just how serious this impact was. Severe enough to literally rip the top off of this vehicle. State Highway Patrol troopers tell us 2 people inside weren't wearing their seatbelts. They were thrown from the vehicle, but all 3 people involved here were ultimately killed. Just an awful crash. State Highway Patrol is continuing to investigate this crash, but they tell us multiple things involved here, both speed as well as alcohol. And as you come back out here to us live, you can see this spot right here. This is where that vehicle came to rest. You see not only where the bark was blown off this tree, but here scattered on the ground amidst the pieces of debris still left, there are bits and pieces of beer cans, multiple beer cans left scattered everywhere on this scene. Now, at this point, State Highway Patrol is still working to identify these victims as well as to notify their families, so their names have not been released. We'll bring you those details as soon as we can. In southern Wake County, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says a Russian drone struck the nuclear power plant at Chernobyl last night. This video here shows the moment the drone hit the dome, covering and destroying the power plant. Zelensky and the UN Atomic Agency say radiation levels do not appear to have increased. Zelensky also says the drone was carrying a high explosive warhead. A Kremlin spokesperson has denied claims that Russia was responsible for that strike.
And Jeff, over to the WRAL Live Center, I got some breaking news coming out of Gaza right now. Israel has announced the release tomorrow of 3 more hostages. They're on your screen right here. One of them is an American Israeli. His name is Sagi Dekel-Chen. In the center is Russian-Israeli Alexander Trufanov, and on the right, an Argentinian Israeli Ayer Horn. It'll be the 6th exchange of hostages and Palestinian prisoners under this ceasefire deal that came into effect last month. A release of 369 Palestinian prisoners by Israel is expected to follow the release of these 3 hostages from Gaza. Now, Dekel-Chen, the one on the left there that I showed you, is 36 years old, an American Israeli. He has 3 daughters. One of them was born while he was in captivity. She turned 1 in December. He's coming home to meet her.
That's amazing. All right, thanks, Jeff. A suspected Venezuelan gang member was arrested in Raleigh. Ricardo Granadillo Padilla was wanted for federal charges for illegally entering the U.S. ICE arrested him over the weekend. He was found with a handgun and ammunition. 10 other people from Venezuela who are also here illegally were also found. They also say that Granadillo is a suspected member of the Tren de Aragua gang. His arrest comes just days before federal authorities announced a new initiative to crack down on the gang.
They have spread out across the globe, primarily in South America, up through Panama, through Mexico, into the U.S. This sort of nationwide focus on Tren de Aragua is very, very appropriate.
Authorities also named him a suspect in a mass shooting in Chicago. He's being held at the Wake County Detention Center.
A federal judge has put a pause on President Trump's freeze on foreign aid. That judge's order mandates a revival of a flow of money to contracts, grants, and loans in place at the end of the Biden administration. A judge also extended a hold on the Trump administration's dismantling of U.S. aid for another week. The judge said that he will keep a court order in place at least until February 21st. It reinstates U.S. aid workers the administration previously placed on paid leave, and it blocks the administration from taking further action that could hurt the employees.
We are waiting to learn if the lift on freezing foreign aid funds will impact businesses here in the Triangle. Yesterday, we reported RTI International, which is headquartered in RTP, was temporarily laying off some of its staff in the U.S. because of the funding pause. In all, 226 employees are impacted. 61 of them are based in North Carolina. It is unclear when the positions will return or if this new order will affect that. Earlier this week, WRAL News reported that President Trump's freeze on foreign aid is putting thousands of jobs at risk across the country and in the Triangle. FHI 360, a Durham-based nonprofit, furloughed 36% of its U.S. staff.
Speed limits across the state could raise from 70 to 75 miles per hour on some interstates and highways. Lawmakers are considering that legislation now. The move comes as new data shows an increase in deadly crashes statewide, up more than 30% between 2018 and 2022. Drivers we spoke with had mixed reactions to the potential speed limit change.
5 miles an hour over what is already a fairly decent fast speed limit. I'm kind of leery about that one.
Lawmakers considered increasing speed limits in a bill more than a decade ago, but that legislation ultimately stalled out and didn't go anywhere. Republican senators are falling in line behind President Donald Trump's cabinet picks. A final confirmation vote for President Trump's nominee for FBI Director, Kash Patel, will likely happen next week. Patel was advanced by a Senate committee yesterday, despite concerns for Democrats who have said he's unfit to lead the Bureau. The Senate confirmed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Secretary of Health and Human Services yesterday, and former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was the only Republican to vote against him. Meanwhile, Tulsi Gabbard was also confirmed this week as the next Director of National Intelligence.
Well, this Valentine's Day, we are taking you behind the scenes of a local florist as they prepare for one of the busiest days of the year. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from GCG Flower and Plant Design in Cary. And Kelsey, Americans are expected to spend a record amount of money this Valentine's Day, shelling out a lot of money for flowers.
Yes, Michelle, $26.5 million, or rather billion dollars. That's what's expected for Americans to spend, according to the National Retail Federation. But I wanted to show everyone these gorgeous pink roses, but the particular name for them are called Pink Floyds. So it's actually named after the band. The band has the rights to these flowers. Gorgeous color, wonderful smell, and the National Retail Federation estimates that consumers will spend $2.9 billion on Valentine's Day flowers this year. Obviously, you're looking at all of these gorgeous flowers that will be delivered a little bit later today from GCG Flower and Plant Design here in Cary. Now, North Carolinians may spend a little bit less than the average American. A survey shows that the average cost of a dozen roses in North Carolina is just below $80. So that's $10 less than the national average. So GCG here will open within the next hour. It'll open at 9:30 this morning. Walk-ins are welcome. So if you're kind of working at the last minute, that's okay. You can do an online order or call in. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Oh, coming up, winter weather trouble will bring you video of a few massive pileups in the west. because of slick, snowy conditions. Look at this.
Plus, it is an action-packed weekend in the Triangle. So we have your out and about best bets for a lovely Valentine's Day weekend.
And it is clear today, but not for long. You're taking a live look over Apex this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner walks us through the rainy weekend in store, including a WRAL weather alert day for Sunday.
A lovely look at Beaufort on this Valentine's Day. Had to set the mood, right, for Valentine's Day this morning on a beautiful Friday as you're headed into the weekend. You're watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or your streaming device. So keep this image in your head because this weekend will likely look different. So enjoy the day while you can. Elizabeth Gardner has a look at your weekend forecast.
Yep, today's going to be the only day that we see wall-to-wall sunshine over the weekend. Saturday is going to be cloudy with some light rain. Sunday, we're going to see the potential for some thunderstorms. So soak it in while we have it. We have a few high, thin clouds here over downtown Raleigh, but that's not really going to have any impact on our weather today. 34 degrees, so it is a chilly start. We climb into the 40s by the time we get to lunchtime, but we don't climb out of the 40s this afternoon. Our high will be 48, 49. We had a beautiful moon out there. It was full just a couple of days ago, but Don Toman sent us this from Cary. You can see the moon with the halo around it. The halo is formed because of the high, thin cirrus clouds that are made up of ice crystals. The moon's glow shines through those ice crystals and creates that halo. So beautiful shot there. Thanks for sending us that one. Go to WRAL.com/report it, and we would love to see your photos too. There's been a little bit of a wind chill this morning. For example, it's 34 in Rocky Mount, but feels like 28. It feels like 32 in Goldsboro. It feels like 30 in South Hill, 26 in Roxborough. Feels like 31 in Fayetteville. So we're still feeling like temperatures are near freezing, even though we're starting to see temperatures creeping up. It's a little breezy. Our temperatures around the area are anywhere from about 5 to about 15 degrees colder than they were this time yesterday. But this afternoon, we're looking at 49 in Raleigh, 48 in Durham, and 51 in Fayetteville. Checking what happens next. Of course, colder than normal for today and tomorrow. And then briefly, we see a warm up potentially on Sunday. We'll see a warm front moving north. Watch how our color contours turn to orange and yellow. That's above normal, but very quickly on Monday, we're back into the blue and maybe even the purple by the middle of next week. Up and down temperatures. This is the way it looks. 55 is our normal high. So upper 40s today and tomorrow, 68 Sunday. But if we hit that 68, it'll only be for a short period of time and temperatures will fall during the afternoon. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are below normal. Wednesday and Thursday really look cold. Saturday, some light showers, cloudy all day. We may be a little drier in the morning and a little wetter in the afternoon. Sunday, we'll have a front that comes through around the middle of the day that could bring us some thunderstorms. So it is already a WRAL weather alert day. The biggest threat would be damaging winds with the front coming through. We look ahead to next week. Notice how it gets pretty chilly. Monday is at 51. Tuesday's at 51, but then highs are in the upper 30s Wednesday and Thursday. There's a small chance of a wintry mix.
And happening right now, I want to take you to these live pictures in Washington, D.C. as federal workers have gathered this morning and they are protesting the DOGE cuts outside the Health and Human Services building there in D.C., the Department of Government Efficiency. With the cuts, the Trump administration has ordered the layoffs of probationary employees, affecting hundreds of thousands of efforts there to downsize the federal workforce. There are demonstrators carrying signs, some of them that read, "No one voted for Elon Musk," and "Federal workers defy DOGE." And there's an organizer right here kind of reading off a playbook of the message they want to get out there. Trump signed an order with Musk advocating for some of these agency eliminations.
11:58 a.m. Valentine's Day, and whether you have plans with friends or that special someone, we have some suggestions for fun in the Triangle. WRAL lifestyle editor Kathy Hanrahan has some out and abouts best bets. Kathy, happy Valentine's Day. Let's start off with some comedy. There are a few big shows this weekend.
Yeah, I've got a lot of great options. Okay, the biggest show that's going on is Kevin Hart. His Acting My Age tour is at Durham Performing Arts Center. He's got 3 shows. Now, 2 of those are sold out, but there are some tickets tonight for the late show at 9:30. Looking ahead at Sunday, comedian Cat Williams is over at Lenovo Center. It's part of his Heaven on Earth tour. Now, tickets are still available for that one.
I love it. And downtown Cary Park, they have an event tonight for couples who are looking to get outside. It's sunny today. It's chilly, but it's nice out there at least.
Yeah, you can just stay warm, just dress warmly. There's going to be arts and crafts, live music, and a food truck tonight downtown Cary Park. You can build mini terrariums and participate in like a paint your partner kind of challenge. It's going to be so much fun. And a local flower shop's going to be there. So if you didn't get your flowers, you can buy some flowers there. Activities are running from 5 to 9 p.m.
Yeah, Cary Downtown Park is saving you. Also this weekend, there are some scavenger hunts happening in downtown Raleigh. I love a good scavenger hunt.
I know, isn't that fun?
Yeah.
It's so much fun. This Valentine's Day themed treasure hunt, it includes clues and puzzles to unlock treasure chest. So if you want to be searching around, it's happening in downtown Raleigh, Saturday and Sunday at 2 and 4 p.m. Saturday and 2 p.m. on Sunday. Tickets are $25 for adults and $15 for those ages 10 to 17 years old.
I love it. And for this and more events, you can go to our website, WRAL.com, and search keyword Out and About. Kathy, thank you.
We're following this story in California as heavy rain now causing problems in Southern California. And keep in mind, that's as that state is recovering from recent wildfires. Mudslides and mountain debris caused troubles for drivers, including an LA Fire Department's vehicle, which was swept into the ocean. Now, thankfully, no one was seriously injured during that. Teams used bulldozers to clean the mess as best as possible, preparing for the rain to move out today.
A massive winter storm in the Pacific Northwest caused major issues for drivers in several states. Take a look at this. Frightening scene on I-84 outside of Portland, Oregon. More than 100 cars and trucks piling up in snowy conditions, some even catching fire. Rescuers say that multiple people were injured. They had to help people stuck inside their cars. And it was a similar scene in Idaho. Look at this. This footage from Nampa, Idaho, about 25 minutes from Boise. You can see dozens of cars stuck in the snow after a series of crashes there.
A storm system brought heavy rain to parts of Tennessee as well. The Chattanooga Fire Department rescued people and animals from waist-high flooding near homeless encampments. According to officials, the Chattanooga Homeless Coalition is working to find alternative accommodations for the people affected, but no injuries were reported during this.
Whether you're looking to stay in or go out, there's new movies for you this Valentine's weekend. David Daniel has them all in the Hollywood Minute.
Dad has a secret that before he was a boring consultant, he was a professional chef.
You do realize you're in Italy, right? There's no better place to rediscover your passion.
Scott Foley travels to Italy to check on his daughter, and sparks fly with the town's mayor in La Dolce Villa. The romantic dramedy is now streaming on Netflix.
I have to tell you one more thing. I love you forever.
What's taking so long? When are you going to be home?
Name one thing you've done for me. You don't care about me. I don't think I could live without you.
I Love You Forever features a more toxic twosome. Sophia Black-D'Elia stars as a woman whose new too-good-to-be-true boyfriend may be just that. The film is now on digital platforms.
時々思うねんな。逃げ出したらどんな感じかなって。朝起きて街を歩いて全く新しい人生を始める。
Two strangers, both stung by betrayal, connect despite a language barrier in One Night in Tokyo. The romantic drama in Japanese and English is on digital and VOD platforms.
If we're going to do this, we need to set some rules that you and I both agree on.
Did you order this?
Starting with, I tell you what to do and you do it.
And if you missed Nicole Kidman's Golden Globe-nominated turn in Baby Girl, you're in luck. The erotic thriller is back in theaters for Valentine's weekend. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Selena Gomez has a new album coming out with her fiancé, Benny Blanco. The singer wrote on Instagram that the album, titled I Said I Love You First, comes out on March 21st. The first single, called Scared of Loving You, is out now. Now, there's a little more to the script, but I want to go off script for a second because one of our producers, Natalie Grass, she is leaving WRAL. And so we just want to take a moment because she has been behind covering some of the very serious news stories that we have covered here during our round-the-clock coverage. Some of the stories that we have had, she has been there making sure that we had the information we need here at the desk. So, Natalie, thank you so much for being a part of the morning team. We wish you well in your next endeavor.
Natalie, we love you so much. We're going to miss you, and we wish you all the best. Here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll be right back.